Hello there, my name is Chris Van Ness and I'm here to introduce to you the requirements for your Earth Science portfolio. Earth Science is one of our three sciences that we study for credit at the high school level. Earth Science portfolio requirements will be shared with you in Drive, and once you can pull them up, I'd like you to make a copy of those, print them out, and three-hole punch them and include these in a binder. That binder will be your portfolio for the year or for the semester, depending on how long you will be taking the course or how much credit you need. And these requirements will guide you through the completion of all the work necessary for credit. How well you do with that work, really, that makes up your grade. Think of the portfolio as a compilation of your experience within the course. The documentation of all work that you've done, discussions that you've had, interviews, projects, you name it. But there are four components that we will be looking at as lead instructors for the grading of your Earth Science portfolio. The first one is chapter work. So chapter work is completed. I'll get that in there for you. Chapter work is completed, and it is 25% of your grade. Notes and vocabulary from the text is 25% of your grade, and tests, quizzes, 25%, and projects are 25% of your grade. Those are the four components that make up 100% of the grade for Earth Science. So the first thing you'll want to do is you'll want to get yourself a text, a book that covers Earth Science and all the standards required by Oregon Department of Education. This is a text that from Prentice Hall, but there are many different curriculums. If you have questions over that, please talk with your lead instructor in that subject and they can help identify one that works best for you. You will also be given a pacing guide. That pacing guide will be available in Drive, but I suggest you print it out as well, and it helps the student, the parent, and the ES. It helps guide you through what your part of this is each week during the course of a 9-week quarter. You'll turn your portfolio in twice during a semester, once at the end of quarter 1 and then 2, and if in the second semester, quarter 3 and quarter 4. So during that, we have a minimum of 5 chapters that will be required to cover within that first quarter, and the quarter is 9 weeks, so you have basically 9 weeks to cover 5 chapters within your text. And each week you have a little guide that will help you to show what you need to complete. A portfolio can look like this. Like this. It has tabs to help you identify what section you will be filing your work in, chapter work, projects, tests, notes. And you will be working each month or each quarter to complete a project, and that project has probably between 10 and 15 hours worth of work, both research-based and in the final product. I have behind me the demonstration of one ecological plot study, and this is a board that was created to allow for an observer to be able to understand the project better, but this was accompanied by a written portion of the project, which includes the documentation of any observations and research that was made, as well as the final conclusions that have been determined by that data from the student. Now, there is a PowerPoint made available to you as well in Drive that runs you through the scientific method, which is the method that we as scientists use to complete any experiment. So the 25% of your grade for each quarter is dependent upon the completion of a project. That will help you understand the process of going through that. And as well, in your requirements for your portfolio, there is a section that is suggested projects and a guideline with a checklist, so that if you need help determining what project you want to do, we have some lined up for you. As well with that, we also have the tests and quizzes. Many different texts come with chapter tests following the chapter reviews for every chapter, or they have a CD-ROM for a teacher's edition or a teacher's edition text that will allow for a parent or an ES to print out applicable tests. That will help with the completion of those for every chapter that you go through in your text. Notes and vocabulary are really determined by the student, the parent, and the ES, and really are meant to help the student. But there are definitions as to what strong or proficient vocabulary and notes are within the portfolio requirements. The chapter work is rather straightforward. At the end of every chapter or every section, there are chapter review or section review questions. They include critical thinking, short answer, some that are applicable to the concepts through mapping or extensions, and there are multiple choice. And those should be completed for every chapter, demonstrating that the student has done the reading. I think one of the most important things that we have to remember during the compilation of work done in this portfolio is that as we go through it, we may have many questions. Setting up a time to meet with the lead instructor in that subject is very important. Questions for the ES are going to be very helpful, but they may not have all the answers. So coming in during office hours to speak with the lead instructor in that subject, with myself for science, would be very important. You can contact me at cvanness, V-A-N-N-E-S-S, at logoscharter.com, or through the front desk, and you can set up a time to come in during my office hours each week. It's open door policy as well, so please, I hope to see you. Email me with any questions. I hope this helps, but make sure you read the portfolio requirements, the pacing guide, find a curriculum that helps the student learn the concepts specific to earth science. Grab a teacher's edition to help get the tests that you can print out each week or as the student goes through the chapters. Help to go through the suggested project guidelines with the student, which will aid them in determining what projects they want to do each quarter, and you will be good to go. Thanks, and I hope this helps.